Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome back to another daily dose of history. I feel like this week has flown by. It feels like just yesterday that the delegates were showing up for the Second Continental Congress. And now, all of a sudden, they're about to approve one of the most important documents in American history. To recap, we left off with the Committee of Five, led by Thomas Jefferson, handing over their finished draft of the Declaration of Independence to the Congress for them to approve it. The approval of the document and the events that followed are actually quite the spectacle, and there's a lot of interesting bits in the text about this. For example, take a look at the very first sentence.
The delegates approved a handwritten copy of the Declaration, knowing that this was an act of treason toward the king.
Treason, for those of you who don't know what that word means, is defined right here. The words crime, betraying, and overthrowing are all pretty hostile words if you ask me. But you know what? The colonists had actually endured enough from Parliament and all these unfair laws that they were passing that they were pretty okay with this act of treason they were about to commit by signing the Declaration of Independence. And just to spice things up, here's a little conversation that Ben Franklin had with John Hancock.
John Hancock was the president of the Congress, and he warned the delegates that they must all hang together or stay united. Benjamin Franklin replied, "We must all hang together, or assuredly we shall all hang separately. The punishment for treason was death by hanging."
So yeah, independence is a real low-key thing. No major consequences or anything, right? Please note the sarcasm in my voice. It's a huge deal. The colonists were at the point of risking literal death in order to experience what freedom would be like as an independent country. So now it's time to sign the thing and get this show on the road. And this next portion of text actually contains one of the most underrated fun facts of history, in my opinion. I'll explain after this.
When the time came for the Founding Fathers to sign the Declaration, Hancock signed first, writing his name in large, bold letters. His signature became famous. To this day, people call their signature a John Hancock. Then Jefferson and the other delegates signed too.
So first of all, to all my baseball fans out there, if you've ever seen America's favorite ballpark, Fenway Park, home of the Boston Red Sox, you may have seen this sign before and wondered what the heck it was. Well, this guy John Hancock was actually a pretty big deal in the state of Massachusetts. Not only was John Hancock the president of the Second Continental Congress, he was actually the first, and then weirdly enough the third, governor of Massachusetts, which is also why the John Hancock Insurance Company is based in Boston, and their logo is that signature right there. Secondly, have you ever wondered why his signature is so big? Our text goes out of the way to use words like large and bold, so there's gotta be a reason, right? I mean, you can clearly see here that all of the other signatures are a lot smaller and more normal sized than John Hancock's right in the middle. So here's that fun fact I was talking about earlier. Hancock purposely wrote his name this big because who was this document aimed at? Great Britain. And who happened to be in charge of Great Britain? King George. And besides having a bad understanding about who his colonists were, you know what else King George had? Bad eyesight. Are you starting to see the pieces come together here? John Hancock purposely wrote his name this big as a sort of in-your-face, come and get me, I dare you, to King George. He wanted to make sure that King George knew undoubtedly who wanted freedom from his rule. So while a lot of people may think that Hancock just wanted to write his name all fancy like, he was actually kind of messing with King George here. So after the Declaration was signed, Congress sent copies out to everyone, even the Continental Army, so that all the colonists could read it. And we celebrate the 4th of July with fireworks because that's what we've been doing from the beginning. Well, sort of. I mean, they didn't have real fireworks, but, you know, firing off guns and cannons is close enough. And they also did one more thing that would definitely be illegal if we did it out of celebration today. They tore down a statue of King George, then melted it, then used that melted metal to make bullets, which they then shot up in the air out of celebration. Basically, Americans have been crazy partiers since day one. #America. Alright, let's end today's video with some notes about the approval of this document. Just like yesterday, we're going to be on page 74 of your workbook, or if you have binder paper, page whatever you want it to be. Okay, I feel like I don't need to teach you anything about history at all for you to know what this first blank is. The Declaration of Independence was approved on July 4th, 1776, which is the reason why we call that date Independence Day, because on that day, we formally declared independence from Great Britain. And you'll notice that today's notes appear to be in the form of a formal announcement. So, delegates of the Continental Congress, hereby known as the Founding Fathers of America, will approve the Declaration of Independence. On this day we will commit treason, a crime punishable by death, though a crime we have no intention of receiving death from. On this historic day we ask you, fellow delegates of this Congress, Arrange quickly to send copies of the document to each colonial government and to the Continental Army, so that they may know our intentions of claiming freedom from the jaws of England is clear. With the Declaration now official and spreading like wildfire throughout the colonists are about to learn what actually was in that document. So what do you think we're going to be learning about next week? Guys, that's going to do it for today's Daily Dose of History. There is no review question today because it's our Zoom day. Again, here are the times so you know when to log in so you won't miss out on our meeting. And you should have also gotten a reminder email with this same information as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing you then, but I'll see you here on YouTube on Monday. Have a great weekend.